Hey, greetings, Philistine agents in the wild. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, welcoming you once again to the show. Well, here it is, our after action report, where we peel back the onion that is Playthings. I sit down with my fellow Hard Slingers of yore, and we start asking the pertinent questions about what they were thinking during the AP, how I came up with certain ideas for the AP. But before we begin, as always, we have a few shout outs I want to get to from good friend of the show, Balin Bobos. Excuse me, actually I have to read this because I'm doing this video as well. Epic as always, guys. Better luck next time with the firefights. To that, I reply, never split the group, and then never split the split group. Especially with the rule set as dire as this is. Never a good idea. Always good to go in hot, go in heavy, and go in with numbers. Next, we have from Rory O'Donnell, who says, hell yeah. My reply to that is, hell yeah, hell yeah. All right, keeping it kind of thin. Anyways, don't forget, after this, we will be going on our post-season hiatus as we currently go through our recording of our interludes. One of them is Cold Press and Full Tilt. And then we'll be jumping into the next season, which is Operation Enraptured. By the way, I'm holding them up for the camera. If you can't see me because you're listening to an audio podcast app, then correct that by heading on over to our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20 and click that subscribe button or bell or whatever they're using over there. I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's warm up our dice and top off our glasses. Roll the Hard 20 presents episode 12 of our homebrewed scenario, Playthings. Enjoy. I love saying enjoy. It's like a trademark. Kind of like warm up your dice and top off your glass, you know? Gotta love it. All right, let's get to it. All right. We will begin our session. How's my brothers doing? Across the globe.
Across the globe,
well.
yeah, literally across the country.
Yeah, what's the time for you right now, Tone?
It is 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah. And it's like afternoon for me and Ryder.
That's right. Drink my coffee.
Yeah, me too. That Delta Green or a Hard 20 mug?
It is a Hard 20 mug. It's just
Okay.
a sticker on it.
Very nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I suppose we could make that a reality in the future, obviously. Well, let me lead us in, and we will begin. Greetings, fellow slinging agents in the wild. Is I, your trusted handler, Brian, and with me, my Hard Slingers of yore.
Survived another day.
Our after-action report for our latest scenario, Playthings. And this is basically where we sit down and go commando on tearing apart this onion that is the latest scenario. So let me just kind of read in a little bit here. The agents are dispatched to New Iberia, Louisiana to investigate the murders/suicides of 3 families and determine what is the connection between the 3 and how to stop whatever it is before there's a 4th. That was
They're
my
all
little
dead.
Yeah, that was my little italicized thing for myself, but to read for this after everything was done. Basically, Heisenberg had told you about that the Troscos were the 3rd family over the past 6 weeks to have met their end in the same manner. Basically, the families were annihilated by the mother. The mother then committed suicide, and the thing that the police were keeping from everybody was that the youngest daughter of each family had survived in turn and then later committed suicide at the Iberia Medical Center main campus. So coming into this thing hot, what'd you guys think about this?
I liked it.
Yeah, I remember you had told us that this is a darker one, and yeah, it was.
Yeah, after Borrowed Souvenirs, like we discussed even in the after action report, that was more of like a palate cleanser, kind of keeping it light. I think Sam even mentioned something on one of the first episodes of Playthings that this was back to the form of like, we're not rinsing our mouth anymore. We're just eating the decay or something like that. Just went crazy on that. But I know the first thing that you guys did was you, as a group, after you met, you went to the Trosco residence where the latest family had been murder-suicided, and you started your investigation, going through the rooms. And Tone, I got to say, like, one of the things that really impressed me, because I know I do this, and I'm sure all three of us do it, is that we hang things on the refrigerator, and that hadn't even been looked at yet. You guys were going through the bedrooms, but Tone, you wanted to go straight to the kitchen. And I had to say, well, you can't go in there yet. We'll take our time to go in there. And eventually you went in there and looked at it anyways, and that was when you discovered all the pictures, because that was where the mother had killed herself, was right in front of the refrigerator.
Right.
That was impressive. What made you think to go in there and look on the refrigerator? You reading my notes?
No, there's beer in the fridge.
I'm not reading your notes. Although it was just simply, I know what's in the kitchen. Obviously, there's nothing in the kitchen. There's food preparation. But given the refrigerator, okay, let's talk about the refrigerator. Well, yeah, what's in the refrigerator? It's not what's in it. It's what's on it. And I mean, I look at my own refrigerator. It's got magnets and pictures and little pads and notes and reminders and phone numbers. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, why would the game be any different? And I figured you would pick up on that, and you did. So it's like, okay, what's on the fridge? Tell me about the fridge. And that's how it came to me. It's like I looked at my own, and yeah, got to be the same in the game. Let's see it.
Kitchens are the heart of the home, It's like you got the fridge with the stickers and the Johnny's grades and the terrible, terrible artwork their children do, F plus at the best. But also, and if I recall, it was in the kitchen as well. That's usually where, at least when we were growing up, the telephone was and the answering machines.
Yeah.
So that was another key piece that was in the kitchen as well. And that's where the heart of the family usually is the kitchen, where meals are prepped and the days are talked about and all that. So it's a great place to start.
That was at the Claiborne residence where you located the answering machine as well as the receipt. That was what you believed was family number one. And we could get into family zero also. One of the things that I wanted to do when you saw the picture of Maxine Trosco and she was holding the doll, but it was all out of focus, you could barely see any of it, I kind of wanted to give you that feel that there was something like magical or demonic about the picture. That's why it was fuzzy, but it wasn't. It was taken while in motion, which is why there were other pictures throughout some of the other houses that actually had the doll in perfect clarity. One of the things that I had written down, and as we start going through this, but as the title would suggest, and based on the material in the scenario, through your investigations, you guys began to believe that there were multiple dolls. And you start thinking Playthings, the dolls, but really what it was. And Tone, you picked up on this, and it was like amazing. But in fact, there was only one doll, and that it was basically the title, as the title suggests, Playthings referred to those families that the doll was abusing and killing. They were the playthings in this scenario. And Tone, I'd written down that you were right when you suggested that in the investigation that the families had trauma in their lives. Hence, Molly Doll was there. That was what really bound this doll to each individual family.
Yeah. One of the things that sticks out in my mind is the semicircle in front of the closet. That always struck me. Yeah.
Was it in the closet?
Yes, they were all in the closets.
Hey!
I can't even edit that shit. Not that I'm going to. We're in a new world. But no, I remember when I was a child that I always had to keep my room clean, but I always would slide open the closet, and I had like the creature cantina in there and all my figures and stuff. And then when I was done, I just closed the closet and it would be out of thing. What it was with the girls individually was they were compelled to have like this little assembly of dolls, but it was always Molly Doll was part of that assembly. And it was basically telling each child in turn, as it was talking to them, put the other dolls around so it looks like we're not having a one-on-one conference here. It looks like you're just playing. So
Yeah, Yeah, it was like your cantina. It has all the stuff, but Destro's always in there for some reason, or Zartan's always hanging out.
He has to be.
Yeah.
Always.
Do you still have a Destro or Zartan on your shelf somewhere?
I do, actually. There's one way back there is a Zartan. And there's a Destro right here.
Oh, there it is.
That's hilarious.
You know, I think it was 2 years ago, my son gave me the Cobra Commander for Christmas. I thought that was pretty badass.
And he's still in his shell. He's locked up.
He
Carbonite.
is. He's an unscrupulous leader who believes in the crying and whimpering of Molly dolls.
That's funny.
So as you guys maneuvered through this investigation, after you left the Trosco residence, you were immediately met by an individual, Father Johann Richter.
Yeah, that threw me off, man. When you put him in there, I was like, why is this guy here?
And
There's
he
obviously
kept
some
appearing
reason.
just throughout the adventures, like, excuse me, I am still here. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about you.
There were times
With the handler.
when you guys were having a conversation with Heisenberg, and he's in the back seat, and you guys are just carrying on, and he's like, he like leaned forward and put his hand on your shoulder, Deso,
I'm
and,
still here.
and said something, and Sam, you're like, oh my God, we forgot about the crowd. You know,
Yeah,
Dude, I about pissed myself when I heard that. Like, I kept rewinding that part. I was just laughing my ass off. But he was put in the scenario because for so many scenarios, and it's a way of us tidying up this each season. Like, you don't need to go through the redundancy of, okay, now I got to go through the medical examiner's office. I got to burn his house. I got to burn his dog. I got to burn his car. Burn everything. Just to try to cover your ass, where you actually almost seem to leave more of a trail in the process of eliminating any type of trail.
calls more attention.
Yeah, so we started going through and just kind of hand-waving a lot of that stuff, and the reality is that we needed to address that, and he was there to make sure that cleanup was on point and to address that, and also because now that the agency is starting to come under a new hierarchy, which we're slowly developing for the listeners out there. And that was what the whole purpose of him being there was about. Now, at the end, there wasn't so much of a cleanup because of what went down at the Rusty Taco and the Days Inns and Suites. I know that after the gunfight, and we could get into that too, but let's keep going forward through some of the stuff that we were doing. Talking about Father Johann Richter and what he was there for. Basically, he wanted to make sure that you guys did your cleanup, and then you guys went to the New Iberia Police Department. That's where you met Detective Grady to find out that he was no longer in charge of the case, that it was now Inspector Lang and Special Investigator Octavo. I thought she had like a certain kind of name. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, they both were with State CID, Criminal Investigation Division, and had taken over the Trosco case, as well as trying to make the connections between the Claiborne family and the Hooper family. And they said that they had a set of suspects already, the Wayland brothers, the Mercer brothers, Johnny and Waylon Mercer, and that they were good for a murder that took place over in Charlotte. Now, right away, you guys didn't believe it was the Mercers, even though everything about them suggested that it was. Like with the way the family was killed. Sammy's like, no
Negative.
So why did you not believe it was the Mercers? Even though
would
there
be
was
too
plenty of
easy.
proof that said it could have been.
Because that would be too easy. I mean, it's a little bit of min-maxing, but, this is a curse you. I mean, bless you.
Thank you.
That would have been too simple. And I knew that this was going to be a darker episode, so murder of family, that's dark, but it's not Brian, your trusted handler, dark. I knew it was going to be some just malevolent, misanthropic thing that was going to be going down, not just some hillbillies on a shooting spree.
Yeah. Well, they did have all the tropes of being into the voodoo, hoodoo, witchery and stuff. They never really specified how the Mandel family had been murdered, only that it reeked of that kind of display. And they did have a young daughter. Mm-hmm. The difference is that young daughter was killed, whereas all the other families, the youngest daughter survived.
And none of the other families had a voodoo-style killing. Yeah. They were just murdered. It wasn't like there were crazy etchings or, freaky little fetish dolls hanging from the trees outside,
Now, you guys did some due diligence when you separated those two investigators and you started looking in the conference room at the bulletin board behind Inspector Lang, and you could see the three families, the Claiborne family, the Hooper family, and they started putting up pictures of the Trosco family as well. And you started seeing that some of these individuals of each family knew some of the other ones. Like, I'd have to get back into some of these notes, and this is probably like the hardest part for me to go through. You saw that Serena Hooper was in a picture with Martha Claiborne, and you'd seen that Amy Trosco was, I believe, in a picture with Harris Hooper, the father of the Hooper family. And in each one of these families, the youngest daughter was holding a doll. And the doll differed from picture to picture. One had two brown eyes, one had brown eye and blue eye, one had brown eye.
I thought they were different dolls.
That's why you guys thought it was different dolls. But in reality, you started to learn that these dolls were actually one and the same. And that was, Tone, you started putting that together. I don't want to say it was too early on, but I want to say probably halfway through the season, you started realizing that you're not finding any other dolls. And then at one point, you guys had separated your investigation. Tone, you had gone to the Iberia Medical Center, and Sam, you had requisitioned a ride from Detective Grady, to go to each of the previous murder sites. I think you went to the Hooper residence first. I was wondering which one you were going to go to first, because the Claibornes were the first family, the Hooper was the second family to get killed. But you took.
I think I said whichever was closest, just go there first. Like, to me, it didn't have a real reason to go to anyone in particular first.
No, and I think that anything that you had found at one would have directed you to go to the other. It wasn't.
I was going to both.
Yeah, I don't think one you would have said, "Okay, I found what I'm looking for. I'm done." Or
that
I didn't find anything. I'm not going to find anything at the other one. You were pretty thorough about that. But Tone was trying to do his best to try to get in to see Maxine Trosco in fear of her life.
That was a whole episode unto itself.
Yeah, with Nurse Raider, who, in my mind, I did fashion. What's that, brother?
They were just like, no.
Yeah, I was at every doorway he ever approached. Hey, I'm going to go try to crawl underneath the elevator. There she is.
He looks through the window, and she's looking right back at him through the window. And but she was fashioned after Nurse Ratched in my mind. So, and then Sammy, you had gone to the Claiborne residence, and you had found the message machine, old style, and you'd found a receipt on the refrigerator from History's Emporium for, I think, $250. And so you brought all that stuff back to the hotel room. Rice had gone through some of the computations, trying to figure out things, basically what time the store opened, in which case you decided to go there at 7 o'clock in the morning anyways. Hey, why not?
Against my urges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys were very vocal in that. Or you were very vocal about that, but I explicitly remember the other two agents saying, I think it was verbatim, okay,
outvoted.
Well, yeah, said you were outvoted. It's like, we're going, okay, whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said something like, okay, well, we voted and we're going there first or something like that. Or,
I didn't even. I was just joking around. Really?
Yeah, no, it's in the recording. And you guys wound up there. It was closed, and so then you took the. Actually, before you left to do that, you played the message machine, and it said, now I have to find it.
And get the voice right.
I don't know if I can. What was that? The Claiborne residence, right? Yes, it was. It said, "This is Roberta Glacier from History's Emporium. I need you to call me back as soon as possible regarding your recent purchase." And that was that.
Now, did you name her Glazier after Paul Michael Glazier from Starsky
Yes,
and Hutch?
I did.
Yeah, I knew it.
I did.
Oh my goodness.
Wait till you see Paunch in here. No.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, I didn't even put that together.
No, he's not in there. I don't have
Oh,
Paunch.
I was thinking of Lopez, like the motorcycle cop.
Oh, I didn't even
Poncherello.
think about that. No, that's Poncherello. I didn't do that. No.
Okay. Well, he wasn't a motorcycle cop, so that's why I didn't put it together. If he was, I would have got it. That and that award-winning smile.
I had to look at my list for the listeners, and I probably have come up with about 180 individual NPC names across all these homebrewed seasons.
And 5 voices. Just kidding.
Just in different pitch.
Yeah. A lot of Joeys in there.
Oh, yeah, Butterfall. So the next morning, after you listened to the recording on the message machine, you couldn't get into History's Emporium, so then you went to the medical examiner, and you started grilling him a little bit about the family and about the families, and basically what he had discovered. He discovered that one of the daughters was missing an eye. That was the youngest Claiborne daughter, and then the Hooper daughter was missing a finger. And I don't know if you guys were putting that together as it was going along. I know you were grilling him a lot. Like, didn't you notice that the eye was missing? Was it cauterized? It seemed like it was recently cauterized or whatever. A lot of that stuff kind of got edited because it got redundant, just to expedite that portion at the medical examiner's office. But were either of you putting that together, that these pieces were being removed from these bodies? What was going on?
I
Well,
picked
as
that up
soon
at
as
the toward the end, and I was like, "Wait a minute! Yellow fingernail, one eye, okay." And it's mirroring the victims. That must be where it's coming from.
Well, we didn't find out that things were missing until way later on. But we had already seen the doll that had like the weird finger and the different colored eyes and stuff.
Yes.
That's why I thought there was more than one doll, because the doll I think the different pictures had different color eyes and
Yes.
stuff like that. So
And I never remove agency from you guys. Like, you could have gone straight from the Trosco residence to the medical examiner if you wanted to. Or you could have gone from meeting Inspector Lang to there, or anywhere. I don't try to tell you guys anything. I just kind of lay out a few places that are of interest and let you guys make your decision how you want to do them. So, but I think if you had met the medical examiner earlier in the day, you probably would have picked up on the fact that these 2 girls were missing those appendages. And then you could have put it together with the pictures of the dolls. So,
yeah, well, I definitely knew that the doll was replacing parts of itself with. I mean, I think that was pretty early on in the thing. I was guessing, throwing stones, of course, but just guessing that, it's trying to rebuild itself, so it'll eventually be like a Franken girl,
and I heard some of that stuff come through too, and I was like impressed with that, and impressed that Adesso figured out that I don't think we're dealing with multiple dolls. I think we're dealing with one doll, but how's the doll getting around? And it wasn't until you made the connection that the 3 families knew each other, and that was how the doll was being passed on, was through next of kin, basically. And I think the doll was influencing whoever it was that took receipt of the doll to bring it back to the house, because every one of these families had trauma in their lives, so they were very susceptible. When you guys had gone to History's Emporium and you met Roberta Glacier, and she started talking about Molly Doll and where she had found the doll, she had found it at the the Stowens. What was the name of that place?
Storage, stow and stowage, or stack
Yeah,
and stow?
Stack and Stow. The Stack and Stow storage facility. She had got it in an auction winning, and it was considered her lucky day because nobody else had showed up. So she got to go in there and kind of parcel through some of the stuff, and that was one of the items that she brought back. She was too old to take some of the heavier items with her. And then she sold the doll to Susan Majors. And then the doll was promptly returned, like the next day. before we go into the majors, I just want to say this about the Stack and Stow place. Tone, I just edited that episode not too long ago, and Sam asked you if you wanted to go there, and you said, nah, we don't need to waste any time. This was your toy box. This, you would have been able to handle the events that went down at the Days Inn and Suites. Let me just read for you the toy box. The walls, floor, and ceiling of the storage unit are indeed covered in unusual drawings, unusual shapes, sizes, and angles, all non-Euclidean solutions to celestial geometry. To an untrained eye, it resembles nonsense. To you, they resemble dimensional mechanics. Shelves line the left side of the storage unit, and a small curio rests against the back wall. Against the right wall are two pedestals, each one approximately 3 feet tall. The two pedestals. At the base of the first pedestal, there appears to be a circle, or rather was a circle, of blue granule substance. But the circle looks to have been compromised in several places, either kicked away or wiped away.
Oopsie.
Note on the pedestal in the center of the ring was where Molly doll was kept. The blue ring tastes like salt and is holy salt.
Who would taste it?
I'm just saying, if somebody was like, hey, this looks granule, it looks like salt. Well,
You know
who
what
wants
it
to
is?
taste it?
It's in Louisiana. They're, hey, this be good for the gumbo.
I would have had you make an occult check, and there were signs of warning that she had begun to erase and was the only thing that kept Molly doll and other items of mystery in check. Basically, Roberta had done that. At the base of the second pedestal is a sphere about the size of a basketball spinning in the air just above the pedestal's top. There are 3 concentric rings, all spinning in opposite directions on different axes around the sphere. To walk too close to this, you start to feel it drain and become tired as you begin to age by 14 years for every round you stay too close to this thing. It's basically like a black hole. The curio cabinet has 2 doors. Inside, there's a bronze sword stuck in a half-split human skull. The skull bears the marking from a Mesopotamian era, sometime around the 4th millennium BC. But interestingly enough, the skull has modern ceramic implants in it. Next to the shelf, next to the skull, is a USB drive that has some things that I'll probably use for later on. Next to the shelf is a 2-foot square cardboard box and something wrapped in an old bed sheet. Inside the box are 1D4 M18A1 claymores. And then there's also wrapped inside of an old bed sheet is a style 440 Magnum chainsaw with a fuel tank mixed with 10 bottles of oil. On the bar, there are 34 tally marks that say, "May Earthall devour you." But I can't tell you what those things do because you didn't go there and try them out. But I think the claymores would have been interesting.
Yeah, or the chainsaw. Just run up to the Mercers and start leather facing them.
Well, what you could have done is you could put the claymores to the front of one of the cruisers. Just drove that right up to the front of the door.
Mounted the chainsaw in front of it and drove through people. Yeah.
So moving on to the Major's residence, where you met Susan Major and her 2 twin daughters, Lacey and Macy, both 8 years old. She told you that one of the daughters had got the doll, that was Lacey, and that something had happened to Macy, and that's when they returned the doll. Now, here was the thing with that. Did you guys pick up on the fact that they were twins? Like, you knew that they were twins, but did you understand what the doll was doing there? Or its confusion?
I didn't understand.
Yeah, I was trying to get control of the girl and telling her to kill the dad or kill the mom, whatever. But as soon as you said they were twins, and I'm like, okay, that means that it must have mistaken it's the normal girl for the sister. And I'm like, okay, that's why she didn't end up going through with it.
Yes, that was. I'm sorry if it was kind of ambiguous, but I didn't want to just
overly clear. Honestly, just playing. I'm sure listening to it is even more so, but I thought
Okay.
it was like, oh, of course.
I didn't want to say anything about it. I don't think it came across that I did, but yeah, that was what it was. The doll, Molly doll, wasn't smart enough to know the difference between the two girls.
Stupid demon.
Hadn't spent enough time. It probably wasn't going. Yeah, dumb demon.
Dummy.
But that was what prompted Miss Majors to return the doll, and of course, the Majors family had its own trauma.
Yeah, she spent $250 for that thing.
No, she didn't. She spent $50.
Oh, that's right. The other families did.
Yes,
They
she
just
marked
heard
it
what
up
they
in
got.
hopes that the doll wouldn't get sold, but she never took it off the shelf for purchase.
I wonder why.
Greed.
Molly doll whispering to
Well,
her.
you know,
probably.
I'm gonna mark it up to $250, and if they say that okay, well then it's on them because I marked it up to where nobody else could buy it.
I understand. I did that at comic conventions. There. Hey, do you do commissions? Yeah, $300. Oh, great. Can you do? I'm like, shit.
Give me two.
Yeah, the next one was 500. Oh, okay. I'm like, shit. I'm just nope. Don't do them. Sorry.
It's all stick figures and shit.
Yeah.
Sign your name. Look at this. It's a genuine Samwise. Genuine Eugene the Wise.
That's right.
Exactly.
Those are worth a lot of
Genuine
money.
Eugene the Wise.
So, as you guys left the Major's residence, sorry, I gotta try to put all this thing together. You were contacted by Inspector Lang, basically saying that they have a 20 on the Mercer brother. Oh, go for it. Sam.
And was Majors named after Lee Majors?
Yep, because the name was Leon.
The $6 million
Just
man.
making sure. Okay, so we had a theme going through
Yep,
here.
and his girlfriend that he ran away with was
Lindsay.
Lindsay. There you go.
Lindsay Wagner, the bionic woman.
So, you know, I think people in our genre, our age, they'll appreciate the tongue-in-cheek of this. So,
Yeah, well, when we got to meet Inspector Destro, he was like, that was a little too obvious, but it's still good.
Spectre Deathstroke.
I'm trying to remember where you guys went after you left the Majors. I think that Richter contacted you and you hung up on him.
Yeah, and then he called back.
And then he didn't. Yeah, he called back and you said that you'll come and get him or whatever. And then Inspector Lang called you and said, I have a 20. I need to meet you at this specific address. And it was the Days Inn and Suites where you guys were actually staying at. Mm-hmm. You guys drove there. So you gave each the car to go to New Iberia Medical Center because I think you wanted to reclaim the doll or something. What was the deal?
Well, we wanted to go, we decided to see if we could go save Maxine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you went there. And it took you several turns to get there, even though everything in this area, I actually looked specific addresses up. Granted, they're changed a little, so if any of the listeners want to look at these addresses, they're not specific, but the streets are really there, as well as the New Iberia Medical Center, Medical Examiner, everything. They're all within about 6 to 8 minutes of each other. So it would take you 2 turns hauling ass to get there. Meanwhile, Adesso, you and Rice show up at the Days Inn and Suites where the Mercer brothers are holding them off in the parking lot. And you got one brother who's in room 114, which is where they were staying, right next door to Johann Richter, and you were next door to that. So you had 15 and 16, and they were in 14. And there's a bar right next door called the Rusty Taco. And so you got one brother in the taco and one guy shooting out of room 114. Johann Richter is down in front of room 115, bleeding out. And this just turned into like a, I don't even know what to call this. It was like the
Shit
OK
show.
Corral that went way sideways and wrong. Lang got killed almost right away. And that was with a crit, by the way. That was with a crit.
Head took off.
Yeah. What was your thought behind that tone, your tactical approach when all this was going on? I gotta know.
Well, my thought was, first thought was, yeah, that pretty much choking on it. Yeah. My thought was, okay, it's designed to be fair because I have a cop, there's another cop, there's me, and then we had Johann, and then you rolled and you killed him. Then your second roll killed the second cop. And it was like, oh shit, he's going through everybody. So I'm thinking, okay, I've got to be able to take these guys out. Shot, missed, shot and missed. And then by then it was too late. I died because I couldn't hit anybody and they couldn't hit me, or they could hit me and I couldn't hit them. And
I think I texted you to just drive away. Like,
yeah.
Because for listeners, we will text each other, like, just like you would at a normal D&D table. You would say, hey, man, check that one thing. Oh, right. Well, I don't want to do that because we're recording, so we'll just text back and forth.
Yeah. But I was in the middle of the firefight. It was like, yeah, that's good advice, but I can't get there without getting shot. And then it turned out I got shot anyway. So
now, when Rice decided to go around the building and split you guys up, did you think that was a tactically sound approach? Like, did you think that was a good idea, or should you have focus fired, or what?
I liked the idea of him going through and figuring out what was going on. It probably would have helped us if he had been there and we both could have formed a unified front. I mean, there were only 2 of them and there were 4 of us, and then, or actually 5. And then within 4 rolls, there was only 1 of us. It was me and then him, and that was it. So
yeah, the other cop had failed his sanity at the sight of Lang's head exploding.
Yeah.
Basically just knelt down and was crying, and not used to seeing something of this magnitude. And there was even like a in firefight pickup when one of the brothers swooped down and picked up the MAC-10 from Johann.
Right.
Father Johann Richter.
Each eventually made it to the hospital, found out that once they burst into the door where Maxine Trosco was at, she wasn't in there. You, from all remembrances, you remember that each previous daughter had killed themselves in the bathroom of their hospital room. You saw Agent Octavo down on the floor. You found out she was just knocked out. You guys opened up the door, you and Officer Lopez, and found that she was fine. She was under the sink, but fine. But her doll was missing. I got to ask you, did that shock you that she was alive?
A little bit.
Shocked me.
I figured one would be dead and one would be alive. That's why I was trying to, sort of use the NPC Lopez as like, okay, well, you go, check on Octavo. I'll go check on, the door here where Maxine is. And I was like ready to rock.
Yeah.
And I figured I would go to Maxine and Octavo would pop up being possessed or something. Because it usually was like the mothers that killed the families, or at least in the one lady in front of the fridge. I thought that's what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, okay, well, I can defend Maxine. Lopez, if Octavo is possessed, he'll grapple with her and I can close the door, protect Maxine, and go help him. But I figured something was going on. That was a real tense situation. Like, I remember when we were playing that, I was just giving orders, like, you go do this, boom, go do this, go do, hey, you nurse, get me the number. Like, I wasn't even the normal each where I was trying to be a little bit more passive and speaking with people and all that. I was just, it was in like fight mode.
I would think that would be his almost standing position now after everything you've seen. Like, knowing that when you went to the hospital and she was alive and you were waiting to see which one's going to turn, and then to find out that the doll was gone because Dr. Wilhelm had taken the doll. Did you expect that to have played out that way? Like, to go that next level again?
No, I wasn't expecting to go to Nepal again.
No, not Nepal. Then Spanish Lake.
I was expecting the doll to be underneath Otavo, and that's where the big fight scene was going to be. I wasn't even thinking of Windhelm anymore, and I remember him talking to Adesso about divorce and all that, but I just thought that was him just jaw-jacking, but it turned out it showed that he had, family issues as well. But I mean, if that's the crux for what this doll needs, it's like that doll has plenty of targets out in the world.
Yes.
Every family has, if
it's like
over 50% of the families are divorcing, and I don't know what the rate is in Louisiana, but
you got to get married first.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, the whole planet is harvest for this thing, and it's always in season.
Mm-hmm.
So when Adesso had that talk with Dr. Wilhelm and saw that he once had a ring on because there was a suntan line on there, you kind of get the feeling that this guy's got trauma too, although I only hinted at it and I didn't want to lament on it, but you picked up on it pretty quick, Tone. That was really good. And that was when you ended up getting the address to Dr. Wilhelm's residence each, and then, all right, following the doll. And then you started sending texts out to Adesso and to Rice. Adesso, meanwhile, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Rice takes off with Lopez after you sent Lopez back to the Days Inn and Suite. And he's trying to figure out what to do. And then, Adesso, your eyes flutter open. And you see Johann Richter finishing pouring some blue liquid with white flakes in it down your throat.
Yeah. Yeah, that I freaked out a little bit about that. I was like, oh shit, going back to life. Oh boy, that's pretty cool on the one hand. On the other hand, holy shit. What does this mean?
What was he saying? Like, now you're mine or something?
Yeah. Now you will do what I say. Mm-hmm. You will follow orders now. The thing is that liquid is very reminiscent of that liquid that you each had procured from the extraterrestrial exhibit back in the museum, Cryptozoology Museum of Truth. Yeah. Remember that vial of blue and with white flakes? It's very reminiscent of that. So each you make it to Wilhelm's house. You see there's 2 cars, Land Rover and a BMW. You go inside. You see a headless body at the dining room table. The man's head is actually in the fire, just roasting.
I thought that was Wilhelm at first.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I could just imagine you, like, if you were in a movie, like a horror movie or whatever, there is no music. It's just the crackling of the fire as the camera pans from the body and into the fireplace. And you see as it zooms in, this head and the features just roasting off, then coming back to you. And you look and you can hear the music drifting down from the staircase across the room. And you just start making your way up into the dim stairway. And that's when you saw all the doors were closed. You opened the first door on the right where the music's coming from. You found Crystal Wilhelm. She's like 10 years old, sitting on the bed, headphones, rocking her head back and forth. You just made sure that she wasn't missing anything.
Well, I pretty much, as soon as I saw that, I thought she put the headphones on because Mommy and Daddy were having a fight.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. And then I also thought, though, maybe she has the doll. I don't know. Maybe if Mommy's here, that Mommy killed Daddy, Dr. Wilhelm, because I had it in my head that it was the women. I know it wasn't the women that did all the killing, but the first one, the Trasco one, where she killed the people and then in front of the fridge killed herself. That's what I kept thinking, like it was something to do with the mother. And the way that the Mrs. Majors was acting kind of crazy too, like I thought it had some effect with the matriarch, like it took over the matriarch of each family.
It seemed that way, but it was really whoever psyche fractured the deepest was the most susceptible to suggestion. That was the person. And that had the strength to carry this out. Like the demon wouldn't do any good to incorporate a young child. They would never be able to get the blade through a large man unless they got lucky with the first stab or something like that. And then you have to go through each individual body and maintain. It needed somebody that it could rely on. And Dr. Wilhelm, in this instance, was more damaged than anybody else. Had you actually pulled the headphones off the young girl, she would have told you that her father told her that her mom and her mom's boyfriend would be coming by and to wait in her room until her father had returned. He was very intense about telling me not to come out of my room.
Yeah. See, I didn't want to disturb her because I had no idea how I would put that back and the toothpaste back in that tube, because it's like now I have this child hanging out with me or questioning what's that burning smell or what's like, I'm just like, fuck it. We'll leave that till after. That's not the problem right now. It's over here.
Meanwhile, you got Adesso still laying in the parking lot of this hotel. These two brothers in the taco, ready to light things up. Richter grabs you, puts you in the car, and I don't know if it came across, but even though he had been bleeding and stuff, his wounds were healed as well. He was just covered in crimson, but he wasn't dying anymore.
I thought he was just maybe grazed or was playing dead or whatever.
No, but he had to crawl across the parking lot, and that left all the blood and stuff, but he was slowly starting to, to juice himself up like that T-1000 when he's coming out of the fire and he starts running faster and faster and faster. That was how it was going. And with you as well. You woke up, you're kind of groggy, then you got behind the wheel, kind of dazed, and you start coming, all your faculties start to return to you and whatnot. And then he said, take us to the airport. Meanwhile, you got Rice, who receives the text from Each, shows up at the Windhelm or trying to show up to the Windhelm residence, but Each, you ended up going upstairs and opening up the master bedroom. That's when you saw Dr. Windhelm standing over his now estranged wife. She's on the floor, he's got a machete up. And even though you made the stealth check, the doll was looking right at you and just pointed a yellow painted finger right at you. And then that's when all hell broke loose. That's when you began to fight Sulgust. Hyphened word Sulgust. That is a.
What does that mean?
Doesn't mean anything. Just
What? Stuff has it. Wasn't this like some maybe the courtroom judge in some 80s Hunter episode you watched? Saul Gust, It's all good, man. Yeah, I wasn't. Well, go on. I have a question on when I fought the Dr. Wilhelm. What happened after that?
He went to bring it down and turn to face you, and you brought your jack blade. Actually, you missed with the first jack blade, so you came down with the second one. And when you did enough damage, the demon just shredded out of this man, basically ripping the man's skin off of it like it was a cheap suit. Just for a moment, it just kind of hung in air and just crumpled down. And then
go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, then you saw this gangly, gaunt, appendage-looking demon in front of you with these swirling, reflectionless black eyes and just this snout thing with these two apertures at the end of each spindly arm.
So did he, with the previous families, he possessed one of them and killed everybody, and then how come the other ones didn't get all flayed and all that? Because nobody killed their body?
Yeah.
Is that why Wilhelm
it killed their own body. Once
so he just left then, right? And the other families? He
Correct.
Just left and went back to the dolly?
Exactly, went back to the doll. And then the mother, or whoever had done that to the family, was so consumed with the guilt of what they had done. Like I said, they were already mentally fractured at that point. It just pushes them beyond. And then when the girls would go to the hospital with the doll or go with the guilt of being the sole survivor and finding out what had happened, basically being fed these lies that all this happened because of that one individual child. It's just a child's mind. And then that's what ensued with the daughter of the Claiborne family and the Hooper family. And most likely would have happened with Maxine Trosco had you not sent Octavo over there originally. And then Lang sent her back. But I don't think it translated well, that he was pretty upset about her talking with you and getting involved. And so she was playing the back end of this. And it's even written into the AP that one of these two can be a friend or can be an enemy. It depends on how you go. But she was the easier in, because she didn't agree with Lang's deductive reasoning that it was the Mercers, who are still at large, by the way.
Yeah. Slightly wounded.
Yeah.
But, now, I remember we separated. Like, it would have been a lot better, the three of us at that firefight, because they could only shoot at two of us. And meanwhile, maybe each could have, infiltrated like what Rice did. And pinchered one of the combatants, but end of the like 48-hour cycle. And was it important that I got to that hospital to free or to help with Maxine, or would that situation still happened even if we had done the firefight and then went? I'm just wondering, because to me it felt like there was no choice. We had to split up. We had to do this.
Yeah, she was going to off herself. It's written in there that if you're not there within 2 days, if you let that expire, she will take care of that. And the doll will still wind up in the possession of Dr. Windhelm. He's always in this AP because of what happened. So one way or another, he was going to wind up with the doll in his possession.
Yeah. So we did, though, even though it wasn't the goal, we did save her where normally she would have died.
Yes. And it's written 50-50.
Okay.
It
Well,
could
that's
go
good.
either way. So you could commend yourselves for rescuing this young girl, even at the expense of...
I know it's not our goal, but when it's a kid, even when we're role playing,
You just froze up, Sammy.
Yeah.
You froze up.
He's froze up again. Either that or he's just stopped.
Didn't hear a thing. Told me the secret of life. I have no idea what it was.
Yeah.
I just say the kid,
With your dying
No, can you hear me?
Barely, but that's okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, you're all
Guys,
frozen on the screen.
Anyways, so then...
Yeah, you guys were frozen on mine. I'm sure it's catching up. We have a big windstorm going on over here.
Well, we're almost at the end.
Can you hear me now or no?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're fine.
Fuck.
No, you're good.
I can see you. You're okay.
Yeah, he is doing a little...
Okay.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, what I was saying was, I forget what I was saying. Let's go on. No, I forget what I was saying.
No, you saved the girl, and that was what was important about the AP on your end because it had to do with the child. Sorry, listeners out there, but we're doing this, and I'm not going to edit it. You're getting it raw, so enjoy the rawness.
Raw.
Raleigh doll.
Raw.
So
Raleigh doll.
at one point, this demon looked in your eyes, and you did fail your willpower check. And within 4 rounds, it was going to basically take you over. It was going to be in you. That would be part and parcel. However, in the 4th round, like before it could go again, you killed this thing. Or actually, you disincorporated it. And it was trying, I think at one point, it was looking at the fireplace and saying, more time, I need a little more time. It just needed a little bit more time to get what it needed because it 100% wanted to stick around and take you over. He froze up.
Yeah.
All I see is this dim smile. That's okay. I did a good job. But in looking in the fireplace, you saw that the doll itself was comprised of like infant bones and an infant skull and everything. You had made sure that the whole doll got burned. And that was
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Then keep on chiming in. But that was what made sure that that it didn't have a tangent currently. Now, whether or not you see Saul Gust again somewhere down the line, that is yet to be seen. Whether or not you see the Mercer brothers again is yet to be seen. Because one of the things that Father Richter was there for was to make sure that you guys did a proper cleanup. Stop leaving liabilities in field. Stop trying to police assets without vetting them properly. You're leaving all kinds of things on the table. And I know you guys wanted to clean this one up. But by leaving the Mercers alive, they look like they're the best scapegoats for what happened here. For all the families they would be good for. And most likely, because of who they are, they're probably never going to be captured alive, so they can't dispute it. And even if they did get captured, they would probably lean into, yeah, we did those families too, because they want the juice. They want the cred for that.
Yeah.
So.
Can you guys hear me?
It was a good IP. I enjoyed it.
I could hear you barely, Sammy. I think it's just your Wi-Fi. Oh,
And he's gone.
he doesn't care anymore. But I'm really glad you enjoyed this AP because this is one of the ones that I spent a good quality time writing, and I know it was darker, and I wanted it to lean into the darkness. I wanted it to be one of those things where you kind of thought about it afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, like after each session, I wanted you guys to think about, oh, you know, I wonder what it would be like if I did this, or I wonder where this is going to go next. You back with us, Sammy? He's connecting into audio. But I did have two things that I wanted to hand out.
Uh-huh.
Sammy, are you there? I'll have to give it to you posthumously. Tone, you were right when you suggested that the investigation that the families had trauma in their lives, hence the Molly doll was the reason why, and that you had speculated that there was only one doll. And as I go through the edits of each and every one of these things, I'm 100% convinced. Sorry, let me see what's he saying.
He's saying a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
That he can't hear, that he can't see.
Okay, well,
That he's basically blind in the forest.
okay, so for you, Tone, I got to give you a gold doubloon. Your investigative
right
prowess was 100% on point. As for
Awesome.
Helen Keller, she made a good deductive call by realizing that the daughter was at peril, regardless of what they thought, and regardless of what Johann Richter had speculated, that she is not the mission, and to continuously keep trying to hammer home that somebody needs to be at the medical place and to protect this girl, as well as realizing that Dr. Wilhelm, that the reason why the young girl had those headphones on was because the father had said so. So, Sammy Goldblum. I don't know if you could hear that.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I could hear you.
Yeah, I can
oh,
hear
there
you.
you
I
are.
heard
Hi.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a gold doubloon. You got a gold doubloon.
Hey, guess what?
Everybody
I just
get a
got
gold doubloon.
note. I got a note. A note said my internet connection is unstable.
Oh. I could have told you that without a note. Anyways, what I was saying to Tone,
Sorry about that.
and I'll say it again for the listeners because I don't mind speaking again, is I was really pleased with the way how this AP had turned out. It took me a little while to write it and get it done. I think I kept telling everybody that the next scenario was going to be Playthings, and then after that we'd be running a published scenario, Ex Oblivion. But I'm really happy with how this one turned out because from what I could gather, people thought about it after we were done recording each session. I'd get texts from you guys, or you guys would be speculating or texting one another where you thought it was going or what you thought was moving next. And to me, if it lends itself to that kind of interest where, you know, it incorporates your mind, kind of like watching a mystery movie and you think about it after, wow, man, I didn't see that clue, or like The Prestige, you know. To me, that made it happen. I'm really pleased. And once again, I'm always pleased to have my brothers go through something that I've created and enjoy themselves doing so.
Oh, definitely. I definitely enjoyed myself. Sammy, did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it was a good one. The only thing I wish didn't happen, but I'm actually glad it did because it appears that I would have also been amongst the fallen, is the fire taking care of the doll. I thought that I'm like, oh, I can't do that. That's what happened in the Nepal trip, but it turned out it worked. I mean, certain things work. I know that, but
it didn't though. I think you broke up when I think you might have broke up when I was mentioning
just incorporated it.
Yeah, it removed a tangent for this demon. It
Just
didn't
the doorway.
Obliviate it. So it's still out there, and it still knows your taste.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you managed to get what'd you call that little sack in the back of the doll, Tone?
The billy bag?
The Requiem.
Reliquary.
I thought that was really cool. That was really interesting that you put that out there like that. But
Well, Tone's a Catholic, you know. He's got the all those little things hidden in the shrines around his house, you know, the bones of this patriarch and the cigar butt of this one opera singer that fought demons or something, you know.
But all in all, I mean, you may never see it again. It's just one of those things where it's one of those mysteries that you fought it and it got away. And that's that part that eats you is enough to lend that kind of zen to your life that it's incomplete, you know?
Yeah. That's this whole kind of scenario, though.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, we're not doing anything other than putting a finger in well, let's just say a dam. You know, it's just holding back the tide. Now, I'll give you a cool piece of story that we can do. The demon is able to get to one of the Mercer brothers and possess him, or either the Mercer brother's dead, so he's sad, so he possesses him. But then now we have the mad Mercer brother with the demon Saul Goodman coming after us sometime in the future. We can tie that all together.
I've already got the Mercer Brothers next thing going on. Don't worry.
We're going to have to redo that, sorry. So, because I think Tony and I both like what we did. You're outvoted.
Your internet's breaking up again. It cost you 1 gold doubloon to get back on.
Oh, did I hear I got a gold doubloon?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Yep, because of your tenacity and your correct disposition for knowing that either you or somebody had to be at that medical center to save that girl, that she was key to something. And you went against the fact that she was not the mission. Even Father Richter even said that she is not the mission. Don't worry about the daughter. Don't worry about the girl. We're not here for the girl. We're here for something else.
Right.
And then I think somebody said, well, you know, she's somebody's daughter. Is she your daughter? No, don't worry about it. Move on. So
you would have that same thing, though, if it was our daughter. That's not the mission, so fuck him.
Right,
yeah. Well, that's how clinical this is, and that's when we talked about that there were fissures in the agency. This is what we would start to see. We would start to see loyalty of agents and passion of agents, and how those may intersect or, you know, headbutt with one another. So
yeah.
Sorry, listeners, if we're going over some things that we've already went through, but Sam had been missing because of his internet.
That's right.
But
I'm worth it, listeners.
He is worth it.
Yes.
But like I said to our listeners, our next AP will be Ex Oblivion. I'll start. Well, by the time you get this, it will be several months down the road, but I will have already been reading it and making my notes, and we will probably already be recording sessions of it, if not have it done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have anything else they'd like to add before we pull the plug on this evening's after action report?
It's still the afternoon for me, so
well, it is for me too. But
time portal over there and about 20 miles from my house, I guess.
it's dark, so
it's that portal that's aging you 14 years older than me now.
Yeah, you get too close to it. Every round I sat behind this camera, I aged 14 years.
Yeah, I hope the you listeners are enjoying what we're doing and kind of making this our own thing now, where we're trying to add a little bit more of that adventure. I always like to kind of combine the two things of like X-Files meets X-Men. You know, I love that our agents are starting to get some like weird, I don't want to say powers, but weird abilities or things like that are popping up at, you know, either opportune or inopportune times. I like that idea. It's like Adesso just went to the airport with Father Johann Richter. Where the hell are they going? Leaving us here to clean up everything. And Richter's like, we want us to clean up? Nah, it's cool when I'm on here. You know, no big deal. Tune changed now that he's got his altar boy with him.
And
don't fall for it, Adesso.
We always play our games a little more pulpish, where we want to invigorate our agents. And even in Call of Cthulhu, the investigators can cast spells and stuff like that. They can do specific things, and I think that's kind of cool too. So we're just kind of like digressing a little from the source material, and that's okay though, because we're having a blast doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it live.
Yep.
So if we're playing it and we're not enjoying it, then we'll back off of it. But there's only, we don't play this game, in the basement with just ourselves. Every time we play, we're doing it live, and we're playing and we're seeing how these things go. That's why I'd love for other people to try writers' scenarios and stuff and see how they would do it and stuff like that. I'd
Yeah.
love for that because then that's play testing for us, and we can see, oh, everyone fell for that same trick, or no, everyone saw it clear as day. So let's fix that.
One of the things, let's see if I could pull this up real quick. You want to say anything? Let's see here. Is that it? Nope. Hold on a second. Say whatever you want, guys.
Sounds
Well,
good to me.
Didn't at one time one of our agents in the wild ask for, what was it, deep water or some scenario that they could run? For their
Yeah, I
agent?
haven't heard back from him. I think that was James Wachter. I know what I was going to say here.
So I'd love for someone else to run these, and then if they can, even record them, even if it's crappy, because I loved listening to the different agents do the different things on the same story.
Well, as of now, not including the interlude, Science and Signs, or including any of the episodes from Playthings, we have put out 117 episodes of this material between all
Damn.
the seasons we put out. That's a lot of episodes. So
Wow, and how many different like campaigns is that, or stories? Is that like 15 or something, including ours plus theirs?
oh, I'd have to go through. We did Sins of the Father. That was a published one. We did Under a Pale Moon, Lot 27, Collateral Damage, Deep Waters, Gaslight, Safe House, Little Treasures, Acquired Taste, Proof of Concept, The Seventh Day, Gaslight.
That's like 12 right now.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And Playthings, obviously. But yeah, I think we put out more. Well, I know we have. We put out more homebrewed stuff than we have published. So, but I want to put some published stuff out there too. I want the listeners to enjoy what's already out there. I always thought it was kind of cool when you listen to somebody run something and you have that book at home and you can kind of play along with them mentally and see where the handler digressed this way or embellished or omitted or put something else in to kind of put their little twist on. I always like that stuff. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, I think we're about done with our after action report. This is the Onion Playthings. So I hope everybody enjoyed its taste.
Yes.
I did
Onions are
too.
great.
All right, brothers. Well, until next time, until we pick up the golden mic and hit X Oblivion. Good night, brothers.
It better be worthy.
I'm okay. I think it'll be fine.
Everything I put out's worthy.
That's what I was going to say.
Their campaign better be worthy.
Oh,
Oh, well. Oh,
That was a
that's the
compliment to you, Ryder. So never mind, I take it back. I'm sure it'll be better than what this garbage we play.
oh my
Better?
gosh.
Better?
You know what, listeners out there in the wild, if you like what you're hearing, you like what we're putting out, please go ahead and tell a friend, pass it on to a family member. I'm sure they'll enjoy all this dark material. But please also send a little email out to Arc Dream Publishing. Let them know that we're putting a lot of good material out there for them, for you, for us, for everybody. And let's get a little love towards this podcast. Roll the Hard 20 podcast. All right.
Hell.
Take care, brothers.
Keep the faith, bro.
All right. Good night.